Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a video titled The Complete Motorcycle Rider's Guide, and we're going to be covering everything you need to know to ride a motorcycle as much as I can teach you on video. And I strongly suggest that you attend MSF course, which is a motorcycle safety foundation course. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you what everything does, and we're going to take you onto the roads and onto the freeways in first-person mode. And the motorcycle that we're going to be showing you how to ride on is the epic Yamaha R6. Now, with most Japanese bikes, let's sit on the bike and show you some things. When you're sitting on the bike, the right side has to do with throttle and braking, like going and stopping. So here's the throttle right here, here's the front brake, and then the rear brake is right here. You're going to put your heel like this, and your heel goes here and your toe goes here and pushes down. On this R6 you have a dipstick to check the oil level. It's right here. We'll use this little stick that I've picked up. We're racing the rain right now, so let's get started. This is the front brake here. This is the throttle. This is the starter. This is what's called the kill switch. See this X right here? So if your bike tips over, or you crash and the bike's still running, or whatever reason you want to shut the bike off right away, instead of using the key to shut it off, you can just flip the switch. Let's go over here. The left side, if you're sitting on the bike, has to do with gear changing. So here's the clutch, and here's the gear shifter right here. We're going to talk a little bit about this. If you've never ridden a stick shift car, it's a lot easier if you learn on a stick shift car first before you go on a motorcycle. It'll be a lot easier. It's not required, but it's a lot easier if you want to learn. And we're also going to be talking about what type of motorcycle should you get. Do you know there's a lot of different motorcycles, and you may want to listen to this video. I'll tell you the perfect motorcycle to get for your situation. But back to this, here's the gear shift lever. So again, your heel's going to go here, like this. Say this is the heel of my foot right here. This is your toe, and you're going to be putting your foot on the bottom when you need to shift upward, like first gear, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, and then you're going to move your foot on top when you want to shift downward, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A great way to imagine the gear shift lever is take a look at these little rungs here. Let's say this is a ladder. And you know how when you climb up a ladder, you kind of start on the first rung and you go up and down the ladder. So you want to say like this is first, and then neutral is here, right here, and then second is here. So first is all the way down, and then you have a slight tap up right here is neutral. So if you just kick up where you feel your toe hit metal, you'll feel it like you just, and I don't mean kick real hard, just a slight, like as if you're walking, that type of pressure. A slight kick up from first, you'll be in neutral. But if you just kick up till you can't kick anymore, like you just move in one fell swoop upward, you'll be in second. So let's get started, and we're going to turn the key. Notice everything comes to life. You have the speedometer here, the tachometer here, the temperature of the bike there, 179, and you will have a light that says N. This says N right there for most motorcycles. Now on the left side, we're in neutral right now. On the left side, you have the turn signals here. Take a look here, left, and then right, and you push in this way to shut the turn signal off. You have the horn, And then you have the brights. See how the brights go on right here? And the rain's starting to come down, so let's get started. So don't go try to learn in the rain, but the first thing you're going to do is go to a parking lot like this, and you want to practice putting it in gear and out of gear, okay? And remember, this clutch here, when you pull it in, if you pull the clutch in, that'll save you from a lot of problems. And make sure you keep your handlebars straight when you're coming to a stop. If your handlebars are like this and you're coming to a stop, the bike is very heavy, believe it or not, even though this is one of the lighter bikes out there. But these bikes are hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and if you keep the handlebars straight when you stop, all the weight is properly displaced. Now, we're not going to adjust the camera just yet, because otherwise when I adjust it, it'll be up more like this when we're on the freeway. So put it in, the clutch in, kick down right here on the left. Notice we're in first. The neutral light goes out, and notice I still have the clutch lever held in. Now I added this is here so you can see what gear I'm in. It's pretty accurate. Not really in gear yet. Noticing I'm just letting the clutch out a little, and do that a bunch of times. Let the clutch out, pull it back in. Don't let it out all the way, and you'll feel it engaging. See how it's engaging like that? Then after you do that a couple of times, give it a little bit of throttle on the right while letting the clutch out slowly, and notice we're in first gear. So you want to find a parking lot like bigger than this, of course, and drive around. And then you're going to try braking. So let's try braking over here. Now, how are you going to brake when you're new and you're practicing? What did I tell you? Keep the handlebar straight, pull the clutch lever in. Notice we're still in first because we didn't kick down on the left yet. And then slowly squeeze the front brake. We're still in gear, so now you let the clutch lever out. When it's wet like this, be very careful with these leaves for obvious reasons, very slippery. And we'll do like one more little practice thing and I'll show you. So notice we're in first, clutch lever in, slowly brake like this. There you go. Notice I keep the handlebar straight. So now practice a long time in the parking lot. So now we're going to go out on the street. Notice we're still in first. So I'm going to go here. Now if I want to go up to second, oh, and you know what? I forgot to adjust the camera, so we'll do that here. Starting to rain. Going to go left here. Okay, watch. Putting the brake on, clutch in, slight tap down from second. Notice we are in neutral. Now we're going to adjust this. Bear with me. So when I'm leaning forward like this, you'll be able to see. Let me tighten the camera post, and we're all set. Hold on. So now we're going to get on freeway, okay? Get this tightened here. I'll be cleaning this as the rain comes down. So when you're new, when you're doing these U-turns, it's okay like to kind of keep your leg ready to go down. I'll show you. Notice I'm kind of putting it in first. I'm turning around slowly. I have my legs kind of out. You could do that. Also when you have new tires. Okay, so now we're going to go up to second. So I'm going to show you something. Watch what happens when we go up to third. We release the throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to third, release the clutch lever over here, then you roll back onto throttle. You see how it is? Let's give it more throttle. Now watch, slowly release the throttle, and notice we're slowing down a little bit. So now we're going to get on the freeway. It's kind of rainy. I'll keep cleaning this. So you don't want to have to put your brakes on when you're coming up to a corner. You could time it right where you don't have to. And when it's rain, raining, and you're better to be on the freeway, I think, because you can see better. Now watch, we're going to go up to 4th, release the throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to 4th, release this clutch lever, roll back on to throttle. The Yamaha R6 is epic in that it has a very high tolerance for high revs, as you can see here. So now I'm going to show you something. We're going to go up to 6th. We'll get on a little more. So every bike's different. Notice this red line's at around 16,000. So I'll go all the way up to 10,000. Check it out. And I'm already kind of hitting some pretty high speeds. So we upshift to 6. Now, let's talk about what type of motorcycle to get. We're going to do some street riding, okay? Everyone's going to give you different advice. They'll say start off on a 250. I would say if you're going to be going the freeways all the time and you're not a big tall guy, like if you're in 6 feet, like I'm around 6 foot tall, and I don't think you should get a 250. You're gonna not have enough power. I do like the Ninja 300s, and there's even a Ninja 400. So these bikes do not have explosive power like this R6. I mean, this R6 has explosive power where you got to be careful with the throttle. You know, when you're new, it's not anything to be scared of or anything like that. But you need to take into consideration where you're going to be riding, how far you're going to be riding when you ride. Like, is it just a work bike? Is it a school bike to go back and forth to college or high school? What type of bike is it? So let's say you're going to be in windy areas. You're going to want a heavier bike. This is a very light bike. These light bikes, I could feel it in the wind. I mean, it really blows around in the wind, but I'm used to handling the wind. There's some winds over here called the Santa Ana winds, and they will move you from one lane to the other. They're very strong, extremely strong. So if you're in an area where there's strong winds, I strongly suggest something with some meat on its bones. A good bike that's cheap, that's heavy, that's a sport bike. I had one, I loved it. People make fun of these bikes, they call them can of tunas, but the Suzuki Katana, it's very reliable, and you can get them cheap, and they're great, very comfortable bikes. They're more like sport touring bikes. Now, if you're going to be going on the freeways for long periods, well, I'm just telling you, you're probably going to want to get something that has power. If you're in Texas or California, they're driving 80 miles per hour. I have no problem with that. But you're going to have a problem on the Ninja 400 or especially a 300 or 250 going on these freeways. You're going to have to stay in the slow lane because you don't have enough passing power. See, like right here, I'm in 6, but check it out. See how I can just give it some throttle and I have passing power. That doesn't happen in 6th gear with these 250, 300s, even 400s. But it's doable. You know, just don't be pulling out in front of big semis or anything on the freeway. Now, you know, give yourself some distance. Now, what if you live up in the mountains or the twisties? 250 is fine. A 250 or a 300 or a 400, I love, absolutely love. I gotta get off here. I'm gonna be showing you how to ride streets. So let's get around these guys. I absolutely love the Ninja 400. Another thing too, I love the raked forward. Like right now I'm very lean forward. I'm not like sitting like this, I'm like this. I love that. It's great for your back. I never have back issues. You ever notice in the Olympics the 10-speed riders are always leaned forward? You want some flex to your back. You're riding a bike like this, those vertebrae are knocking and hitting up and down. You want some flex. Maybe not so lean forward like the R6, but I love it. I like it. I like the physical aspects of it. And one more thing I want to tell you, not to be melodramatic, okay, but some guys like a good cigar. You know, they get home at the end of the week and they want just a good cigar, a good bottle of beer. You know what I'm talking about? This is what some guys like. I like a good motorcycle. If you see the lines on the R6, and we don't worship the motorcycle, we're not obsessed with it, but it's like a piece of art. But what's interesting about this art is the product. It is the product of intelligent design, and you can, you know, become one with this art, and you can experience it, the machine, as the steel horse just performs in epic fashion as you become one with the art, and it's just an exhilarating experience. And some people just don't get it. They're not into that. They're into the good cigar, the good bottle of beer. But once you get a bike tuned in the way you want it, you got your tires the way you want the tires, and you've got your gear the way you want the gear, there's nothing like it, you guys. It's so much darn fun. It's just like, you know, the weather's rainy right now, but I'm like, I gotta ride. I just love it. So let's get back to the training now. But so you basically know what type of motorcycle to get. Don't get one based on what someone's telling you. Get one based on where you're riding it. You're going to be in the twisties a lot. Get something light, flickable, 250, 300, 400. If you're new, this is a great twisties bike, but it's also great for the freeway. If you're going to be going long distances, get something heavy. I like the Katana. I'm talking about reasonable motorcycles that you can buy as your first one. I like the sport bikes more than the street type bikes. Get yourself a windscreen. It makes all the difference in the world. I see these guys on these Harleys. God bless them. Most of the Harleys have, well, a lot of the Harleys have windscreens, but I see them on these cruiser style bikes with no windscreen, and it's just hitting you in the chest the whole ride on the freeway. It's no bueno. I don't like that. So now let's talk about how we ride. Notice we're in first, especially in the rain. You go, you know, be careful. Don't be flipping the throttle real quickly. I have brand new tires, so they're very, like, you know how they have that, like, almost wax coated substance on them. So I'm trying to take it easy for the first 100 miles. So now we're in third gear. So this is great practice. You go downtown where you have to stop and go, and it's great practice. Watch this. We're in third gear, but look, we're at 4,000 RPMs. That's pretty low for third gear. So I may downshift right here, or I may, yeah. So watch this. We're coming up to a stop sign, I should say. Went to second. Now watch this. Slight tap down. Watch what happens. I'm in neutral. See the neutral light? Keep the handlebar straight. See this dry area? Try to stay in the dry area, especially when it first rains. Okay, now let's take off. Clutch in. I'm in first. Slowly give it throttle. I have the clutch all the way out. Notice we're in first. There's a stop sign here. This is a very high revving bike, notice it red line's at 16,000. Like I said, we don't even need to get out at first. Keep it here in first. Notice we're not even going to put our foot down, and now we go. So you just kind of balance it, and then we go. So now I'm going to take you onto the streets and some freeway riding, but I want to show you something. Here's another thing. Watch how we stop. Clutch in, slowly squeezing the front and the rear brake. I'll put my foot down on the left. Your foot is always supposed to come down on the left. Thank you, brother. It's one rough road right here. Alright. A couple of things that'll really keep you in check where you have a less chance of crashing. Remember, keep the handlebars straight. You don't even have to really think about it. Just watch. See, I'm not even looking down. Keep them straight. I'm still in first. Car coming here on the right. I could inch my way out like this. I have both feet down. Okay, watch. Give it a little bit of throttle. Let the clutch all the way out. So when you're in like a downtown area like this, you're going to be in first and second a lot. First, second, neutral. First, second, neutral. Now what we're going to do is we're going to speed up the pace a little bit. Alright, so we don't need to do this, but let's go up to second. I'll show you. Now we're going to go from second to neutral. A slight tap down from second. Watch this. Slight tap down, we're in neutral. See that? Slowly applying the brakes. I won't put my foot down here since no one's there. Just balancing. And now we're in first. Okay, so now we're going to do some street riding. When I'm coming to a stop sometimes, if I'm going really slow and like these people are here like this, I won't even put my foot down. I'll just kind of balance like I am. Then I let the clutch out slowly. You'll get real good at it. Alright, so now let's go through the gears. We're in the second. So this is important. How do you shift? You always release the throttle when you're shifting upwards. So watch this. I'm going to release the throttle, pull the clutch in, kick up into third, and then release the clutch lever. But you do it like in one fell swoop. Ready, go. See, I'm in third. That's how you do it. Now, approaching this light, it could either stop or it can continue to go. I'll downshift to second a little because they're stopping, you see, kind of. Downshift to second, sort of applying the brakes just a little bit. There was a dude going across the crosswalk. So I'm in second. So now we're going to get on the freeway, right? I don't zoom up to them and then jam the brakes on. I'll just kind of, I know the light's not going to turn, so I'll just kick back here. And now I'll put it in neutral. I won't sit here with it in gear because if someone comes up behind you, let's say, and bumps you, your bike, you fall off the bike and your bike's gone. If they bump you, it's a neutral. It's a little easier to kind of keep the bike near you where it's not going on itself on a wild goose chase. Now go with me now as we get on the freeway. We're in gear. Notice, haven't let the clutch out. Slowly give it throttle. Listen. As I let the clutch out slowly, smoothly. You'll get good at it where you can just let the clutch out quickly. And we're in second, but let me show you. Again, notice, look at the tack. It's not really winding out a lot, and it's kind of like wet here and stuff, and I have new tires, so I'll kind of just coast along like this. And now let's go up to third. Not yet, once we get on the straightaway. Be careful when you're going around the corner. When you're new, you don't give it throttle real quick while you're going around the corner. When you're going straight, that's a good time to do it. So now we're in third. Let's talk to you about something that might be legal in your state like California, is lane splitting. So lane splitting, a couple of times I've almost crashed doing lane splitting because when the people stop, you'll be surprised how how fast they come up on you. It's shocking. Like, you're like, whoa. You know, I'll put a video right below here where I almost crashed doing lane splitting. But these people go in front of you, and you have to be ready to react to it, even at these slow speeds. But lane splitting is, they'll let me go right down the middle here. This is a major reason why a lot of people get motorcycles. I think there's only 2 states in the US where you can do this. I think in the UK you guys can do it. It's called filtering. Now you see how that guy put his signal on? You notice I was riding right there in his mirror. So he could see me right there in the mirror. And that's why he signaled. You see, you kind of, I'm staying there in the mirror. If I was behind him, it's a little hard, you know, to see. Another thing too that I'm going to see if I can show you is counter steering. This is very important. This is like, if you're new, this is a main thing that you need to remember, because this is like a major cause of accidents. People don't understand what counter steering is. It's very simple. It's not scary. All it is if I'm going right at a high speed, sometimes you just can't lean the bike because the corner is too sharp. So what I'll do, remember, this is a right corner I'm doing at a high speed. Let's get over there because there is one coming up. I'll show you. Right here. If it's not high speed, I'll still show you how it is. So let's say I'm going a right corner at high speed. And I'm not talking over the speed limit. You could be doing the speed limit, you still need to counter steer. And it's like a curve like that. You don't really have to brake in many instances if you know how to counter steer. What counter steering is, I'm going to show you. Watch what happens when I pull back on my left handlebar. See that? I go to the right, don't I? Watch what happens when I pull back on the right handlebar. I go to the left. So this is what you're going to do when you're going right. See this right here, this giant arrow saying we're going right? Hold on. I'm going to have to lane split. What I would do if I'm hitting that clip at a high speed, I would pull back left on the handlebar, and that redistributes the weight of the motorcycle and the handlebars and the front tire to where it forces the bike into a lean, where I'm not going around the corner like on a bicycle real slow. It's actually leaning, and I'm forcing the bike into a lean to where I can take that corner without applying the brake. And I really wish that that I'd be able to take this, it's coming up here, at a quicker clip. The same thing applies to left turns. If I'm going on a sharp left turn, I will pull back on the right handlebar, okay, and that'll lean the bike to the left. All right, here we go. All right, let's see if I can show you. I'll be able to show you, although I don't really think I need to counter steer. But let's pick up the pace. Now we're in 4th gear. Remember, we have 6 gears. There's different ways you can ride. Like for fuel economy, you can shift it a little lower. But since I want to show you something, notice we're in 6th. We're going to have a turn going to the right. Come on, let's see if I can do it. All right. This guy's getting out of my way. As long as this truck doesn't get in my way, or this Ford. So watch. Here's the freeway to the right. I'm going to, I can actually lean it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back on the left and show you counter steering. I will even slightly sometimes push forward on the right a little at the same time. This is if I'm going to the right. All right, you ready? Let's see if I can show you. You're ready. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then we'll do it. Stay right here. Don't really need to do it, darn it. It's coming up. There's another sharp corner. Sharp, little sharper. See, that wasn't even a corner. But up here, let's see, should I get on the right of the truck? Let's see. Okay, so there really is no counter steering that I could show you. Everyone went so slow. But watch how I get into the right lane. I'll use a little bit of counter steering on 2. 1, 2. See, I pulled back on the handlebar. Now, you see how we, I didn't really put the throttle back that much, but you see how we just punched through between the truck and that vehicle? This is, you know, why you want something with power on the freeway. You're going to feel safer with something with power on the freeway. If you're not going to be doing freeways, don't worry about it. I just would want, let's say you're my brother or my sister, and you're telling me, well, I'm going to be going 30 miles to work each day. I'm going to want you with something with some power, at least a 400, okay? At least. You can get there on a 250, even a 300, but a lot of times you're going to feel like you walk there. It's physically exhausting, you know, like you have to basically flog those low-powered motorcycles to get up to speed, and it's no fun. So when you're braking, you're going to be squeezing the brake almost very smoothly and methodically, like an orange. You know, you're slowly squeezing the orange. You're not going to grab the brakes like that and panic. You're going to slowly squeeze it. You can see when this technique literally saved me. I'll put this video below the one you're watching. So I'm lane splitting, and this female rider, nothing against female riders, but I'm just telling you the story. She's going down the middle in like a Harley type motorcycle with the big saddlebags on the side of her motorcycle. And she clearly had enough room, so I'm going behind her, and I guess I'm not right on her rear tire. I'm far away, like from here to this car in front of me. And all of a sudden she puts her brakes on. And I'm like, there's a car, I'm sandwiched between the cars, and she's in front of me with the brakes on. There's nowhere to go. So I go to the right, and see the corner of the rear car here, the passenger side. I lock up the brakes. I'm squeezing them like I've been taught. I'm not fully like pulling them on, but the pressure on my brakes and the speed I'm going is so, it's not really fast, but it's too fast for the bike to stop without skidding, and it starts, you can't see it on the video because you're only seeing this part, but the rear of the motorcycle starts going like that, and I knew that I was going to do low side, high side. I knew I was going to crash. So as I started to feel it going like that, I released the brake, the front brake right here, and it gripped again, and I literally came about that far from the car in front of me, and I did not crash. I was even shocked. I was checking the bike for damage. I was like, did I just crash? And it seemed like it was miraculously where it moved me to the side, to the right. And then also another thing we're talking to you about is the windscreen. It makes a big difference. So I have the windscreen here, and then right here is my chin, like so. Hold on. So literally the air is going over me. It goes here, and then it goes over my helmet. So I like that I'm not standing straight up. Trust me, it is not fun when you're standing straight up and all this wind is like hitting you. You want to be tucked in. You want to grip it and rip it. You know, you want to be tucked down where this wind is going over you. I know people will get on motorcycles and they're sitting on them in the dealership, And they're like, I like this one, I can sit straight up. Well, good luck riding on the freeway like that. Now, if you have, there's a bike called, what's that one bike? Not the ZX10, it's a FZ, I believe, and it's a touring bike. And the windscreen comes all the way up, like past here. Okay, then good, knock yourself out, sit straight up. So remember, when you're braking, keep the handlebar straight. Remember, you want your left foot to go down. On the freeway, I don't ride next to people if I can't help it. Notice I always want to have an escape if something happens. Wear good gear. I love Scorpion helmets. You put them on and they feel real solid, yet they're not so heavy where your neck is just killing you. I don't know if you can see this, probably can't, but the helmet that I have has an internal visor within it. This is great. Try to get one with an internal visor, because when it starts getting real sunny out, you have a clear visor, but there's a little lever on the side of my helmet that I just switch down, and a dark visor goes over my eyes. Now, you could always get a helmet where you just keep changing the shields, the face shields. The problem with that is it's a pain. You'll be riding and it starts getting dark, and you've got this dark mirrored helmet visor, and now you got to take it off and put a clear one on. So if you just have, get this, the great helmet is Scorpion EX0 500. It's great. Get yourself some good gloves. I love these. You can get these at AliExpress or eBay. They're called Tai Chi. They're, I don't know if they're real leather or pleather, but they're great. Get yourself a good motorcycle jacket with CE armor. They're very reasonably priced. And remember always, 4 wheels, like these people are in, may move the body, but 2 wheels moves the soul. God bless you guys. Ride like the wind.